And welcome back, fellow adventurers, to Let's Play Dragon Age 2. I apologize for the unannounced hiatus the past few weeks. Basically, work at the university was piling up on me, and it took me a while to get it finished, but midterms have come and gone, and so that means I have had to do a ton of grading, but now that all that's over with, I get a little bit of a fall break. So, with that said, let's continue on with the game. We're actually pretty close to the end of Act 1. The only things left to do are we have one bit of premium content that I want to show you guys. It's called the Black Emporium. I'll probably do that at the very end. And we have a couple secondary quests. We have the Bone Pit. We've heard something weird is going on. The Bone Pit is basically a mining operation that's occurring just outside of Kirkwall. So we're going to check that out. And we have a letter from Athenril, who has asked us to perform one more task on her behalf. This time, though, we're not paying off any debts, so she better have some money for us. The last secondary on our list is Herbalist Task, but this is just a fetch quest. And since it is simply a fetch quest, I will probably just go ahead and do this off screen. I do like to have my quest thing emptied in one act before I go on to the next. That's just my own little personal bit of OCD there. But there's no need of me recording me hunting around for this stuff. It's going to be pretty boring. So I'll just do that off camera. And then after that, as you can see, the only thing left is the final quest of this act, which is to go to the Deep Roads and see if we could make our fortune. So I think we're going to go ahead and do loose ends first, and then we'll move on to the Bone Pit. As you see, I've moved back to HAWKE's humble abode, and Gamlin just said that there was some writing, some letters to be looked at, so let's have a look. And we do. We have a letter for Bethany. So let's have a look. Dear Bethany, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened to Tamara. I think her family fled to Redcliffe, but I haven't been able to locate them. I don't have much hope left, but miracles can happen. I will keep trying. I know Tamara was a close friend. I will write you as soon as I hear something. I hope your family is doing well in Kirkwall. Please send my love to your mother. I will keep praying for you all. Sister Ursula. So even though Bethany had to run from the Templars a whole lot, it looks like she was able to strike up a friendship with a member of the Chantry here. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. I understand you're in dire need of some coin. If that's true, I believe I have a proposition for you that you will simply not be able to refuse. Look for me at the night foundries, at night near the foundries of Lowtown. Oh, I actually forgot about this quest. So let me go and accept this, and we'll get into what this is. This is a optional quest given our current situation, but since I'm trying to make this a pretty filled out Let's Play, I'll just go ahead and try that, go through that as well. And then this one, the Dark Epiphany. Remember that we were able to get some Grey Warden letters and get them to a dead drop location. So it looks like someone has recognized us for the ones who delivered the letters. I understand that you are to thank for the return of the lost Grey Warden letters. This deed did not go unnoticed. Please accept the enclosed reward and the Warden's blessings. Your discretion about this affair is appreciated. So that's cool. We got to help out the Grey Wardens. HAWKE doesn't have a particular need to help them out, but she doesn't have a particular need to hinder their efforts either. So it's kind of nice to make allies when you can. And that was just enough experience to put us over the top for the next level. We are now level 10. So now with 30 cunning, I believe, yeah, every 10 points. So we can now open the next most difficult level of chests, which is good. And let's see. We can finally improve our Storm of Arrows, which is one of my more favorite archer abilities.
See if anyone has anything new to say.
So, what?
Are you here to gloat? Gamlen's the idiot again. Gamlen's the fool who can't hold his money when it's given in a bloody silver basket. I tried, you know, when Leandra left. But no one was ever going to live up to her.
What was she like, as a girl?
We're only a year apart. But that was time enough for Leandra to get our parents wrapped firmly around her little finger. They showed her off at every opportunity. The beauty, the scholar, the light of their lives. As far as they were concerned, they should have stopped there.
I've seen the nobles in this town. Your parents must have had a fortune. Where did it all go?
Well, it's not like I stood at the side of the wharf and hurled it over. I tried to invest it. I got some good tips on trade in Kunari cheeses. And, you know, a man's got needs. I'm not denying I spent more on myself than I should have, but I figured it'd all work out.
And obviously it didn't.
I'm sure you did your best.
Don't butter me up, sweetie. I changed their filthy sheets and wiped their chins through 2 bouts of the cholera, and the last word Father said was... Leandra. I'm not looking for love, but at least I got the money.
And here I was, just about to like you.
Yeah, he was doing pretty good there for a moment, and then he had to ruin it with the last line. Speaking of Leandra...
I will talk to the Viscount about our estate.
Ah, yes. And she will do that, but only after we go on the Deep Road expedition.
I hope Mother convinces the Viscount to give us the estate.
Would be nice to be in better accommodations than what we currently have, that's for sure. How about you, Loco? Anything to say?
Are you searching for buried treasure? Or just trying to tunnel out of this hovel?
I can't say I blame him. Either way.
Your mother's busy writing to the Viscount. If you want more touching family stories, go to her.
We're apparently out of stories for now. Alright, so... Oh, actually, we've been collecting a whole bunch of, a whole bunch of ingredients, so I'm just curious to see what we can make now. Okay, we can make a debilitating poison, and that's about it for now, unfortunately. So, not very impressive in the poison category. For the runes, looks like we can make a rune of fire. We have recipes for a whole lot of other runes, but we still don't have enough resources to make them. Although going down to the bone pit will probably improve that somewhat. And for potions, we still only have 1 recipe so far. I may buy some other recipes off screen just when I do when I go do a little shopping. But again, I've already done enough of that on screen. There's no reason for me to do it do any more for you to sit through. So let's see. We will take Bethany, and yeah, we'll take Aveline, and let's go with who else? Let's go with Isabella. And so, yeah, let's go to this one I forgot about, Friends in Low Places first. Is it always... Yeah, it has to be at night. Alright, that makes sense. I should have known that Bethany had some upgrading here. We haven't used her in a bit. Still hasn't quite made it to Elemental Mastery, but we're getting there. Let's improve the Firestorm, because that is pretty useful. I tend to like blanket area effect abilities myself. Okay. Where are you? You're down this way. In and around, in and around. This is nearby where the Freldon Market is. Dougal Gavorn.
Well, well. Now it's beginning to all make sense.
Do I know you?
Not yet, but I wager you'll be glad we met. The name's Dougal Gavorn, and you're Bartrand's new business partner. Oh.
Yes. Bartrand was falling all over himself to enlist my help.
And that's what I need to talk to you about. Bartrand turned aside my offer of help, even though I had the coin to spare. Thing is, I still think it's a promising venture. The fool won't let me invest, but if someone like you invested on my behalf...
Bartrand was pretty desperate for help. He must have had a good reason to turn you down.
You did. We had a disagreement. You've met Bartrand, yes? Someone would need the patience of a Bronto not to want to kill him. But what's done is done. Now his pride won't let him take my coin, even if it ruins him.
He won't be happy if I do this.
Then why tell him? Bartrand is better off not knowing a lot of things. This way he's happy, you're happy, and I'm happy. We're all happy.
Just what kind of terms are we talking about here?
I give you what Bartrand needs. Bartrand thinks it's your coin. Then when the expedition's done, you pay me back double.
What if I don't have double? This might all be for nothing.
If you really think it's such a waste of coin, why go at all? I think double's the very least I could earn back for this kind of investment, don't you?
This seems suspicious.
I'm taking quite a gamble myself. I'm willing to bet you're a good risk. Bartrand obviously thinks so. You care to extend the same courtesy to me?
So basically, if you do not have the 50 gold that Bartrand needs at this point, this is a way that you can make sure that you go on the expedition no matter what. But of course it means you have to make a deal with some shady characters. I believe Dougal may have some connections to the Dwarven Coterie. But as long as you do all of the side quests, it's actually very hard not to have the 50 sovereigns that you need in order to go on this expedition. And when he shows up later, it's not a really big story point. All it does is make it so that you just have to kind of deal with him one more time in the second act. And he makes some veiled threats about either paying him or he's going to hurt your mother. So he's a pretty slimy character and not particularly interesting, so most of the time I completely just ignore him altogether. But I just wanted to show you that this is a alternative if you want to go on the expedition without having to pay the 50 sovereigns up front.
If Bartrand doesn't want your help, neither do I.
Think you can come up with a coin all on your own, eh? Fair enough.
We'll find a way on our own.
Really? From what I can tell, it seems your friend enjoys spending coin more than saving it. You change your mind? Come talk to me. I doubt this expedition is going anywhere in the meantime.
I'm actually surprised that Aveline didn't give us some friendship for turning that down, considering she doesn't like working with criminals for obvious reasons. But oh well. Alright, so now let's deal with loose ends. And that is... The other quests listed here are just quests for fetch stuff. Again, I'll be doing that off screen, unless I happen to run into one on my way over. Which happens every now and then.
I guess you've been with a lot of men. Men, women, elves. A dwarf in drag once. I don't recommend that. Oh. Oh, you're blushing. Why? How many lovers have you had?
I never...
You're a virgin. Hawke, you've been holding out on the poor girl. Get her a night at the Blooming Rose. On me.
That's, very generous.
I'm a giver.
There's Athenril. Wonder how she's been doing.
Huh. Well, I just lost a sovereign. Didn't think you'd stoop to our kind again.
Indeed.
Or are you not too proud to make some coin?
No promises, but I'll hear what you have to say.
Since you stormed off, we don't have anyone who can quite work your magic, if you know what I mean. I sent some men to fence a bit of cargo down at the docks. Haven't seen them since. I'd pay good silver for the safe return of them, or the goods.
Is this anyone I know?
When you left, we had to take on New Ferelden. Volunteers. Lad named Price was leading them. No one of your caliber.
Where were they last seen?
They were supposed to meet down by the docks, under cover of darkness. I know you're familiar with the concept.
Want to tell me what you were selling?
We were trying to make a deal with the Carta. Those Orzammar dwarves. They like luxury items. Fine fabrics, a cask of caviar, an aged wine. Anything one can liberate from a Hightown merchant.
Consider it a deal.
Good. Go to the docks tonight. My boy Price was supposed to meet our buyers from the Carta there. Maybe you can find out what happened.
Oh, now Aveline's pissed. Too bad. One of the things that I do like about BioWare games, I wish they would do it more often, is the amount of quests that you get that are dependent on the background that you chose for your character, or the choices that you make as to who you want to associate with. It doesn't happen as often as I would like, but it's still nice to have it regardless. So let's head to the docks. We'll see what happened to the fence. Uh-oh. They were after the fence. And it's coterie, as I might have suspected. Oops. Sorry, hit the wrong button there. That particular button there is very close to the movement one, so I often make that mistake. And here comes some more. Alright.
Thank you. I thought them coterie men had me for sure. I guess the whole thing was a trap. There were no dwarves when I went to make the trade, just coterie waiting to kill us. They got the rest of the boys. I ran. I was hoping they wouldn't find me here, but they did.
Is that Athenril's rival criminal guild or something?
More like she's their rival. A small one at that. What I hear is the coterie controls most crime in Kirkwall, and they don't like competition.
I believe they're stationed down in Orzammar as well.
You're a bit young to be doing this.
I'm 15, but I can usually pass for a man. My mama was ripped in two by one of them big horned darkspawn. It's just me and my sisters now. Working for Athenril's the only way to feed the girls.
I think I can kind of see why he would pass as a man. He's got an awfully deep voice for being such a young-looking kid. Well, so here's the choice that you can make. You can either withdraw the goods and basically just leave him to be on his own, or you can let him keep what's in the box and basically try to help him out financially. So I don't think HAWKE has any remaining specific loyalties to Athenril, that she can't let these goods kind of quietly slip away and maybe help someone who needs them.
Why not take what Athenril gave you and start fresh somewhere outside of Kirkwall?
What do you mean?
There's a lot of farmland in the Free Marches. Surely there's somewhere you and your sisters can find honest work.
My father was a farmer. Before the Darkspawn got him. I'd rather do that than work for Athenril. I'll get my sisters. Please, make sure she doesn't come after us.
Ah, there we go. We got the friendship back that we lost with Aveline. She does like when we, double-cross criminals. Ah, here we go. Elemental Mastery. So this boosts both her fire and her ice abilities, so it's nice to get that. And for Aveline... I do like Scatter, so let's improve that one. So let's go back and tell Aveline the bad news. Over here. And she's right over there. You do tend to always come back in through the same way that you exited the last time you were in the area. So sometimes that can be convenient, as it is here.
Well, are you here to socialize, or did you bring my goods?
Now, in this case, you can tell her that you can be honest and tell her exactly what you did, but not only does she get pissed off at you, but of course now that means that she knows who has her goods and she may come after him. So if we're going to stick with the plan, we need to make sure that she thinks that the goods are simply gone and not taken by that young lad.
I rescued your boy and killed the coterie, but your property was long gone.
Coterie. I should have figured. They've got a lock on all trade with the dwarves. If I'd had someone decent on the job, they'd have dug into it first, not walked in blindly. Well, no cargo, no coin. If you're ever looking for more work, I keep my books right here. Feel free to sign yourself up.
So I think this is the equivalent, this area can be the equivalent of a Chanter's Board to give you some side quests. But again, those are simply side quests, so it's either go kill something or go fetch something, and there's not really any story involved.
Captain. That's right, big girl. What of it?
I don't remember your name on any registries. Every ship that docks has to declare.
I never docked. And you're no port authority.
And you are no merchant.
Ooh, scrutiny.
I do like having those two in my party. Alright, so let's do the Bone Pit, and then we'll finish up with the Black Emporium. In which case, actually, we just need to go to the other side of the map. No needing to leave and then come back. This is going to be down in the Merchants, not the Merchants Guild area, but the market. There we go. Hubert is here.
Hear you're having problems with the Bone Pit. I can help.
Ah, finally someone comes to help me. You look a bit unseasoned, but I hope you'll do. I had to suspend operations. My workers are lost in the mines or have run off. Served me right for hiring Ferelden refugees. I sent others before, but no word. Perhaps they are putting me off. I need someone competent to figure out what is going on.
I have the distinct impression that he's Orlesian.
What's the reward?
I will pay handsomely. The exact amount depends on what perils you face.
Fair enough.
Your first mistake was naming your mine the Bone Pit.
The locals named the mine. Those fools say it's cursed. That is why I hire Fereldans. They may be dull-witted, but they're not superstitious.
Hello.
Mind what you say about my countrymen.
I was not referring to you, of course. My workers are a particularly desperate sort. They're lucky to work for me. Few in Kirkwall will hire refugees.
Surely the miners had good reason to leave.
I am at a loss. No miner has reported in, and no one takes me seriously.
The Bone Pit must be dangerous if people are afraid to venture there.
No, nothing like that. Pay no heed to local superstition. The Bone Pit is mostly harmless.
Just like the Earth.
You said some of your workers are Ferelden.
Yes, all of them. An unruly lot, to be sure.
He just doesn't learn his lesson about trash-talking Fereldans, does he?
I'll head there soon.
The sooner the better. Each day the mine is not running costs me more than those miners make in a year. The Bone Pit is just outside the city. Any map will show it.
Alright, off we go. And sure enough, not only is it called the Bone Pit, but it's represented with a skull. Beautiful.
You take me to all the nice places.
I do, don't I? Okay, looks like another item for a fetch quest.
There was a brothel on the slummy side of Antiva City called the Bone Pit. It was entirely different from this.
Oh, bad pun. Okay, we have some looters here taking advantage of the fact that the mine is closed down.
Let's finish this.
Okay. Ah, there's some more over here. I like that archer's lance, because it can go through multiple enemies at once. You just need to line them up. Not so much of a big deal when you're on this low of a difficulty, but when you up the difficulty, it's really nice to do a lot of pausing in between so that you can set everything up the way you want. Here we have some information on the Bone Pit itself. You can actually see some of the lower areas there where the actual pit is. It's the sides of the pit, I believe, is where most of the mining actually takes place. The Bone Pit. Sire, I interviewed the surviving slave this morning. She was horror-struck, but managed to tell me her chilling story. The overseer lined 17 slaves up, one behind the other, at the lip of the quarry. The second slave in line was ordered to push the man in front over the edge. This third slave pushed the second, the fourth the third, and on it went. The workers in the quarry heard the screams, the crack of bone against rock, and then the survivors' anguished cries as the overseer's dragonlings feasted on the 16 helpless bodies splayed upon the quarry's basin. The woman who told me the story was the 17th in line, spared only because no one stood behind her. Sire, I recommend we stop this ugly practice. Effective as it may be in motivating workers, it's also bringing our mine notoriety as a death trap. Stories of the Bone Pit swirl throughout Kirkwall. The veil is thin enough here, and above that pit it is practically ready to sunder. We risk more than simple rebellion should the Overseer be allowed to continue. A letter from Prefects Santarius, 13th year of the Ancient Age. And then looks like a reply. Prefect Santarius, The output of the Maharian quarry is up almost a third this season, and the Overseer has received a commendation from the Archon himself. You will speak of your findings to no one. A response from Magister Quillian, same year. Well, we know where the priorities were here when it came to the Imperium. Not that I can say I'm incredibly surprised. Let's see, can we go all the way? No, there's rocks in the way, yeah. Okay, we will eventually make it down there at some time in the future. But for now, the open area of the pit is closed to us. Alright, we have something here called Navarra. The fourth time I attempted to cross the border into Navarra from Orlais, I was turned back by Chevalier... I always have trouble saying that word. Chevaliers. I decided to take the more roundabout path, a ship back to Ferelden, and then another to Navarra. The outcome was more than worth the trouble. The whole country is filled with artistry, from the statues of heroes that litter the streets in even the meanest villages, to the glittering golden College of Magi in Cumberland. Perhaps nowhere is more astonishing than the vast necropolis outside Navarra City. Unlike most other followers of Andraste, the Navarrians do not burn their dead. Instead, they carefully preserve the bodies and seal them in elaborate tombs. Some of the wealthiest Navarrans begin construction of their tombs while quite young, and these become incredible palaces, complete with gardens, bathhouses, and ballrooms, utterly silent and kept only for the dead. And that's another Genitivi piece. Now, we can see where the main entrance to the mines are, but I just want to take a quick look around here. I do not see anything else of interest. It is eerily quiet. I would ask who lit that fire, but since there were looters here, that would seem pretty obvious. Alright, now let's make our way into the mine.
The looters seem to be staying away from this mine entrance. Maybe they know something we don't.
I'm almost sure of it. Dragonlings, to be exact. Although there is a actual young dragon over here.
I deny you.
Get a lance there. If you look into the lore in Dragon Age, there's actually a lot of information about the life cycles of dragons, and how their species lives and reproduces and so on and so forth. It's kind of interesting. I think the way it's kind of set up, dragons are mostly non-magical in their nature. They're just another creature that happens to be living in this world along with so many other strange creatures. Got some refined lyrium. Probably do some interesting things with that later. That one is sealed, so I guess we need to go up the stairs here. Again, this is another map that gets reused a whole lot, which is again, I mean, parts of this being reused as we go back to it later times is fine, but it tends to get a little bit too much over all three acts, where you start to actually be recognized very much so how the twists and turns are turning out. Ah, missed him. Or missed her, I should say. All dragons that have wings are female. Male dragons never develop wings. Dragons are similar to some species of insects in that the males of the population are there strictly for breeding purposes and serve very little other purpose except for to guarding the eggs and the very young dragons before they're able to defend for themselves. Really want to get her backstab, Isabella's backstab, maxed out, because that's just a very useful ability. Random sack with a mace in it. Like you know. Happens all the time. Wow. Bethany's opening attack just kind of insta-killed that dragon there. It's one of the nice things about waiting until the end of the act to do the bone pit is that it makes the dragons more manageable when you're on moderate to high difficulties, as opposed to trying to do it early on. Same is true throughout the rest of the acts. As a matter of fact, I always find myself, even when I'm not recording for a Let's Play, doing all of the bone pit missions at the end of each respective act. Got more deep mushrooms. I think we were actually missing a recipe that called for 2 deep mushrooms instead of 1, so we got that one good to go.
Praise and trust you came along. Them dragons would have sniffed me out for certain.
Slow down. Tell me what happened here.
I'll tell you what I can, but be a friend and keep your voice down. There's another dragon close by.
Where did the dragons come from?
We was mining a new tunnel when the wall collapsed, and dragons came through. There was a bloody slaughter. Scared out of my wits, I ran like my arse was on fire. It probably was, only I went the wrong way. Ended up trapped here.
Did anyone else manage to escape?
Some of my fellows ran for the surface. I hope they made it.
You should get out of here.
Don't have to tell me twice. You should leave too. But don't go that way. There's this huge dragon.
Another dragon, and larger. Not a threat we should leave behind.
Indeed. And I recommend, if you guys haven't done this before, to bring Meryl on this quest just for the one line that she says at this point, instead of the line that Aveline gave. If Meryl is present, she'll say something. It's pretty funny. There's a lot of slave-related items in this pit. It's kind of creepy. So this brings us up to a plateau higher up in the mines, I believe. So instead of just your standard dragon, we have a mature dragon. Still not as bad as a high dragon, though. Alright, time to make it rain. One of the most annoying things about dragons is that they have a roar that stuns everybody for a few seconds. It's not as much dangerous, it's just very annoying. Alright, let's see what we have on here. We have a Dragon Fang. This is actually one of the Herbalist quest items, so it's nice that we've taken care of that already. And we have the Swarm, which is actually a pretty decent bow. So let's go ahead and swap that out. Doesn't look too bad. Okay, I don't think we can get down there. This actually brings us to the other side of the pit. So if you look down there, that's the path that we were blocked in coming out. So it's nice that they kind of keep a good sense of geography around here. Alright, let's head back. Go tell Hubert that we have cleaned out the mine for him.
Being a guardsman seems like a better life than being a soldier.
Oh?
My brother was a soldier. It's all about taking land and serving some king you've never met. Guardsmen, they do something real. They protect people. They make their lives better.
I don't know if I agree.
Neither would my brother.
I solved your problem.
So, what happened? One of the miners told me you rescued him from dragons. I cuffed him for lying.
Well, he wasn't. Go there and see the corpses for yourself.
But I thought they're extinct. I believe you. You made them extinct again? If it is safe, the miners can return to work.
I bet their first task will be cleaning up the entrails the last shift left behind.
A dragon killer and a mind reader. Wonderful. Let us discuss your payment. You have been a great help. Since you did so much more than I was expecting, how about we work together? I am offering a 50-50 share in the mine. You will make us both rich if you can keep your countrymen safe.
Why would you share half your business with me?
I spent a decade honing my business instincts in Val Royeaux. I once sold a seat cushion to Empress Selene. Simply put, I have a good feeling about you. So, what do you say?
Seems like the miners could use protection, and an advocate.
So, to our first order of business. We replace the lost workers. I will hire new hands. Plenty of desperate Fereldans out there, but it will take some time. I need you to convince the surviving miners to return. They are holed up in Lowtown. Tell them the Bone Pit is safe again.
I'll see what I can do.
Alright, get 3 sovereigns out of that. For saying that you'll help out as to advocate for the other Fereldans, get you some friendship from Aveline. So we go to the very last little bit of this mission by going back down to Lowtown. With the aptly named Get Back to Work quest.
Well, Captain. Can I call you Captain? You can call me Captain.
I won't be doing that.
Neither will I. Because you're a guard captain. No real authority. Not like on a ship.
Well,
ouch.
You would know about having a large number of men under you.
Ooh.
You've been waiting to use that one. Did you practice?
Shut up.
Meow. Like I said, fun times.
Hey, it's the one that rescued me from them dragons. A fellow Ferelden, no less. Oh, eyes on her face, you lush.
1,000 thanks for saving Jansen's worthless hide.
Worthless, am I? My farm supplied eggplant to half of the South Reach.
Yeah? My eggplant supplied half the bastards in South Reach.
Oh boy.